Okay, I'm gonna hit the stream button now. We're live on YouTube.
All right. Hi, everybody. If you are in the US, I hope you had a lovely long weekend. If not, I hope you had a great weekend in general. It's a pleasure to be here, as always, on Tuesday afternoons with Jen, Jason, and Peter. And as always, we are going to throw to Jen, who on my Zoom screen is over here, but I'm not sure how Jason has it laid out on YouTube, to kick us off.
Oh my gosh, TJ, watch on YouTube when you watch the playback. You're like pointing to the like outside of the YouTube frame.
I was thinking I was
You
probably...
want to point to your bottom right.
Bottom.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Hi, everyone. All right, guys. Happy Tuesday. So we did our wrap up this Saturday, and in case you missed it, I'm just going to kind of run through some of the things that we touched upon, because I think those are really the key updates and things that you guys should be in the know about. So starting from the top, EverStats and EverChart won Best Use of Chain Link Technology in the Morales Hackathon that we did. This is a massive congratulations to, again, Ben and Jason. If you guys haven't checked out EverChart, it's on YouTube. It streams all 5 charts for EverRise, as well as the charts with Rise against the natives, 24/7. It also tells you about market cap, how much is in the Kraken reserves, how many rewards have been distributed, and total amount staked. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. With regards to EverStats, you can get through that through the EverRise website or through our community channels. These are now 2 award-winning tools, which is pretty fantastic. So that's a badge that we're going to start to wear pretty loudly and proudly. And if you, again, aren't leveraging those tools, be sure to check them out. About 2 weeks ago, we released migration NFTs for anyone that has migrated from EverRise V1 to V2. Since release, we've minted almost 2,000 NFTs for migration NFTs. Again, if you haven't minted yours yet, you can now do so in the NFT staking lab. And on the other topic of NFTs, we've actually minted nearly 800 achievement NFTs so far. So it's really great seeing the community so engaged with this reward system that we've put in place, which is really exciting. Last week, our integration with Coinbase Wallet was updated to support BNB Chain and Avalanche. So now, if you are a Coinbase Wallet user, I know we have some of them in here because people have come up to us with some Coinbase Wallet questions. You can now store Rise BNB, Rise AVAX, Rise ETH, Rise Polygon within your Coinbase wallet and actually do swapping directly from the wallet, which is pretty exciting. That's 4 of the 5 chains we're on so far, so that's great. We've also added a new developer to our dev team, another experienced member. As many of you guys know, our DApps are at the core of everything we do. The technology we build is the core of the innovation that we're pushing in this space. So it's really important for us to have the best people on that team, and we've added someone who has been quite incredible. Other big thing, I'm sure many of you guys are already in the know about this because I've seen a lot of chat in community chat on Discord and TA, a little bit on Reddit as well. But we are not only counting down the days until our V1 anniversary, but also to our, not V1 anniversary, our 1-year anniversary, but also to our V1 liquidity unlocking. There's about 1,500 BNB currently locked in the V1 liquidity. And so that is set to unlock on June 16th. I mentioned this in the wrap up, and I'll say it again. Liquidity for us has been something that we have always been very, very adamant that it does not belong to the project. It belongs to the community. And so I'll make this clear if you weren't already in the know, but EverRise does not utilize our liquidity pools to pay for staff, to pay for marketing, to pay for operations, or to pay for anything with regards to development. The liquidity is there to really, stabilize the price, and it's there for you guys. So when we're thinking about our V1 liquidity, since our stakers are distributed across all 5 chains and the actual distribution varies by chain, we want to distribute the V1 liquidity to stakers proportionally by the staked percentage of each chain. So we'll be releasing more details in the coming weeks, obviously, because the 16th is rapidly approaching. We'll be releasing details in the coming weeks about the specifics of how we will distribute that liquidity and through what mechanisms it will be distributed. So that's something for you guys to look forward to. With regards to educational content, we've really been ramping it up. If you guys haven't checked out the EverRise website, on our blogs and articles section, you can actually now see there are blog posts breaking down DeFi at its highest level, breaking down liquidity pools, breaking down stable coins, and we're going to continue to do that push when it comes to educational content. We did fall a little bit behind on the Navigating DeFi series, and we're working to get that back on track. But another series that we are going to start doing on a weekly basis is an exploring Web3 and an exploration into the EverRise ecosystem with Jason on Wednesdays. So if you're around tomorrow, be sure to check that out. Say hi to Jason. You guys can come hang out with him in YouTube Live or Twitter Live. He'll see all the comments live, and it's really fun. I was watching all week last week, and I think it's something that you guys will really enjoy. And you never know, you might tune in and you might be able to get a sneak peek of the behind the scenes of some of the things that we're working on with Jason. So always check that out. Yeah, I mean, I think more or less that's kind of the high level updates. Did I miss anything, guys?
I don't think you missed a thing. I think that was perfect, Jen, as always.
As always,
great.
Jen doesn't miss a beat, Jen.
Yeah. Just a couple of like fumbling over my words, but it's all good.
It was a lot of words. Don't worry. That was executed perfectly as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any hands raised at the moment. Just a reminder, this is the weekly AMA. I know we answer questions a lot. I know we're around a lot. It's very important for us as a team to have a presence at least once a week specifically for questions. If you do have a question on YouTube, on Discord, on Telegram, in Twitter Spaces, please ask away. Now is the chance. And I don't see any speakers on Twitter Spaces requesting.
Yeah.
That was a lie. As I said that, you popped up and Wallet Guard.
I've got a question, on YouTube, which we can kind of answer in the meantime. Please tell me, this is Vinay asking me, please tell me the possibility of EverRise replacing PancakeSwap. I've invested into EverRise, so I would like to know what the possibilities are, essentially, is what they're asking.
Yeah, well, I think so. PancakeSwap is something that's a little bit different from EverSwap because PancakeSwap actually holds the liquidity pools, where EverSwap, we work on top of the existing liquidity pools. In terms of replacing PancakeSwap, I mean, I think that's a pretty big feat within itself. We do have other plans for EverSwap, so I think it's one of those things that we're just going to have to see it unfold. Right now PancakeSwap has majority of the market dominance, and for us, I think what we need to assess when it comes to like, do we actually want to build out a full-blown DEX, is looking at the current tech stack that we have, and looking at our competitive advantages that we already have. Like, does it make sense to try to dethrone the number one DEX on the BNB chain when we can potentially just supplement that technology and build on top of it and not worry about having to compete with PancakeSwap itself?
Absolutely. And just going to add on to what Jen just said then, like I've said before, we've got so much that we're building right now, like for the roadmap and beyond. Like, in the future, who knows? But certainly, we're going to realize our roadmap for this upcoming quarter and next, and see where we evolve. But yeah, very, very well answered there, Jen, as always.
Perfect. We're gonna throw over to you in Spaces. Hey, you.
What's up, PJ? Hey, Jen. Hey, Jason. What's up, Peter? How's the Ever team doing today?
What's up?
Hey.
What's up?
Yeah,
Doing
so
good.
I got a question. Y'all keep hinting at this mystery app. Is there any timeline on when you can give out more hints and details, or are we just gonna have to stay tuned?
You're just gonna have to stay tuned.
I'm okay with that. I like the tease.
Yeah, right? I feel like, as you guys know, we're pretty transparent about everything that we do, and we like to always over communicate rather than under communicate. But I think in the case of this product release, we rather, you guys know a DApp is coming, and we'll leave it at that and let you guys continue to speculate wildly.
And we don't make you wait for months and months and months. You know that when we are getting excited about a launch of a new D app, we're like literally around the corner. So I know a lot of people are speculating when they think it's going to be out, but you guys aren't going to have to wait long, and it's worth the wait. That's what I'll say. It's a really beautiful, great D app, which is again going to be so needed in this space. And yeah, we've given away a few clues between myself, TJ, and other members of the team. So stay posted, and I hope you enjoyed the Twitter banner. I see that a few people have taken the artwork and put it as their profile photo, which is pretty cool.
Can we get a hint recap, like maybe a tweet about that, and then put a speculate wildly? That would be pretty awesome.
A hint recap. Okay. The biggest hint that I gave, and I'll recap it now, and this is all I'm going to say, is it starts with ever. There you go.
Great hint, TJ.
And I said that my biggest hint was you'd be stupid not to use it. So I don't think Jen's going to run with that as the tagline, but that's how I personally feel.
Don't ever smoke. I got it.
Ooh, maybe what I'll do is I'll do another hangman tweet where you guys can kind of guess the letters.
Like it. Yeah.
Ooh,
That's cool.
I like that.
I've got another question when you're ready, TJ.
Yeah, you. Is that everything, my friend?
Yep, I'll be sitting here hanging out and listening. I told you I'd be here now.
I love it. Well, we're happy to have you around all the time, my friend. We really are.
I want to quickly say, dude, that tweet about you helping your granny out on Memorial Day was just like, honestly, warmed my heart. Like, I love seeing stuff like that on socials. And like, that's when I say quite often about the negatives of social media, but that was definitely a positive for me, seeing that on social media. Just kind of, yeah, it's just a feel good thing. And family is everything, man. And big up to you, man.
Thanks, bro. Like you said about you giving back that the B&B you got, man. Sometimes you just expect to do decent stuff and try to take people's focus off all the negativities and really be appreciated in life,
Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
Well, yeah, it's just always, this isn't about EverRise, but maybe it shouldn't always be. It's always worth remembering that the people on the other line are human beings with their various challenges and frailties and emotions, and those of us who are brave enough to show them, like you did, like people aren't out here on crypto Twitter posting pictures of their family, and that was super cool to see. So, cheers, man.
Well said. I hope you have a wonderful day, my friend. Jason, we'll throw to you for a YouTube question.
Yeah, okay. So Space Not Space says on YouTube, do you see EverRise one day hosting dozens to hundreds of projects across its DApps and becoming the go-to utility for tools for crypto projects?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. I absolutely believe that to be the case.
That's the goal, and quite frankly, that's the business model.
Absolutely. Good question. So now I'm going to pass it off to WalletGuard, who I do want to introduce to the community. WalletGuard popped into our spaces last week. He's focused on security, phishing attacks, scams. So in our daily community spaces now, WalletGuard will be coming up. We will discuss the daily scams and phishing attacks just to keep everyone as safe as possible. Obviously, that's a core mission at EverRise. So WalletGuard, how's it doing? How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well today. Just got a little break from work, so came on here to chat with everybody. I'm really excited to be able to come up to these spaces and just talk a little bit about security, as that is like one of my biggest passions. So I guess the current hot topic that I'm sure people have heard about is that whole airdropped NFT scam. It's really nothing new, right? We've known not to interact with the airdropped NFTs for quite some time. The only real thing now that's really changed about these airdropped NFTs, like they'll probably when they drop an NFT, they'll drop it like where there's like 500 holders of the same exact NFT, right? And you know how you can make a bid on a like an item, even if there's like 500 owners. It just takes one of the owners to accept the bid for a interaction with that contract to proceed with, at least pertaining to their wallet. So how this new scam is going around is they're airdropping an NFT, which is like one of like you'll be one of the 500 holders of that NFT, and they'll put a 1 ETH offer on that NFT. So you have to remember when you're interacting with smart contracts, especially smart contracts that you're not familiar with. In this case, being from an airdropped NFT, these smart contracts could have like malicious send functions or malicious sell functions. And in this case, this one has a malicious like accept offer or malicious buy. So this one would drain your wallet, steal your crypto, and all those other things. So you just got to keep in mind, if you don't recognize something in your wallet and you didn't expect it to be there, it's easier to just hide it and stay away from it. Even though the offer might look pretty good, like a 1 ETH offer on a random thing that you were sent, it looks pretty nice, but often things like this are too good to be true, right? So you always just got to keep that in mind. As far as like current events, that's definitely the biggest one. There is a little bit less known one that's going around, which isn't. It's going around on the test net, not necessarily like production. So there's still a lot of time to fix that before it gets rolled out. But OpenSea's testnet API um, allows you to do this type of sell function. And there was a security researcher who actually exploited it in order to drain people's wallets, like the buyer's wallet, when they sell an NFT. So I'm sure OpenSea has probably caught that by now and has seen that tweet because it's been going pretty viral. So luckily, I'm sure they'll have enough time to address that before they put anything into production, which is another beauty of open source code, right? There's public audits and like public people testing that code that you put out. So there are definitely benefits to open sourcing and doing things along those lines. So, but if you have any topics or any questions about security or anything in general, I mean, feel free to request up or TJ, or if anyone has any questions up here that we can talk about.
Amazing. Thanks for letting us know. I do look forward to having you up here every day because, as we all know, the space moves very quickly. New scams, and new attacks happen daily. People get more creative, and it's very important to be in the know about this stuff because, as we say time and time again, you could be having the best time in the metaverse. You can be having a great time trading NFTs. The second that your wallet gets compromised, nothing else matters. We put out a series of tweets so far this week. Hashtag before it happens to you. Make sure you have your safeguards in place, that you've done your homework, you've done your research, you know how to protect yourself before something awful happens to you. Because as much as you think that it can't, there are exploiters all over the place targeting everybody. For example, Wallet Guard, I got the NFT that you're talking about sent to my wallet, I think yesterday or today, and I'm looking at it right now with a 1.07 ETH offer on it that I did not touch. So I'm just going to leave this until OpenSea removes it. I'm not going to hide it, but it's very important to be in the know how to protect yourself. So it's going to be great having you up, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick mention, the hiding feature on OpenSea, just for people who aren't aware, is a complete UI thing on OpenSea's end. So like if you were to check your Etherscan, all those tokens will still appear even if they're in your hidden folder. So hiding your NFT is a OpenSea interaction on the front end. So it has nothing to do with the actual contract itself of that quote unquote airdropped NFT. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's always okay to hide that NFT and just get it out of sight if that's something you want to do. However, the other thing I did want to mention, shoot, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. Shoot, I'll come back to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll. Oh, sorry, Jen. I see you unmuted.
Yeah, there was just Wallet Guard. You said one thing that I just want to emphasize again for everyone, which is more often than not, a lot of people are coming into this space, obviously with the goal of financial freedom, right? And participating in decentralized finance. But like when there is a deal that you see where you did absolutely nothing, right? Like absolutely nothing. And all of a sudden you have something in your wallet that your wallet is saying like, oh, this is worth, a couple $1,000. the reality is, and Wallet Guard, you said this really well, is it's too good to be true. And like, so don't fall for that. And I feel like I've seen so many people just get so excited that, you know, they invested in a couple of tokens or in a couple of coins, they make a lot of money, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, more free money from this airdrop, and they get really excited. But like, it's too good to be true, then it's probably a scam, is kind of a pretty good rule of common sense thumb to go by, in my opinion.
Right. And just to add on to it, I think I just remembered what I was about to say. So another thing that you should do, especially if you have high net worth assets, because people with high net worth assets are the ones that are typically targeted, especially by this current scam that's going around. You should look into Gnosis multi-signature wallets. Utilizing a multi-signature wallet is always recommended in my perspective. Like if you have a ledger, that's great, but make sure you treat your ledger as a cold storage, and that you never like, you know, you don't use it for day-to-day applications, right? You can have like a other ledger that you use for day-to-day applications, and that's great. But I recommend, if you only have like a ledger or two ledgers, utilize at least one of them as your cold storage, and you literally just use it as a vault where you send things in and out of, and that's your only function that you use that for. That's going to really reduce the risk of compromise there. But the best thing you can do is set up a multi-signature wallet, especially if you're running a business or any DeFi app or anything in general. Like you can look at most of these big DeFi apps, right? They utilize like multi-signature wallets for their funds. And there's good reasoning behind that, right? That's probably the most secure way to go about, I guess, managing your funds. So if anyone has any comments or thoughts on multi-signatures, feel free.
Well said. We'll keep you up here in case the questions do come, but we will throw to Tom right now. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Hi, how are you guys doing? You all right?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So I'm admin for another project, and I believe we had you guys in our AMAs before, and I was literally blown away by what was being said. I just thought, you know, it's insane. Like it's crazy good. The ideas that are coming out and what you guys were coming out with. Now, I know. I think is it Everlock that projects can get into?
EverOwn. Are you talking about locking the contract?
Just I'm not sure whether it was. I think it was so that people couldn't get into your wallet and take stuff out.
Ever Wallet. So Ever Wallet is really the way we're designing the D app right now. Is it's going to serve as a second layer of authentication on top of your existing DeFi wallet. So like Wallet Guard, kind of like how you're talking about having a multi-signature wallet to manage your personal funds. So you have like that secondary wallet that also has to sign off. Ever Wallet's kind of like a more efficient version of that. So instead of having to have maybe a second wallet appointed to EverWallet, you can actually just have this second layer of authentication. So that way, if someone does even get your seed phrase still, they can't actually move any assets out of your wallet without access to your EverWallet account.
One question: do they have? Does each project have to participate in that, or is that just something that the user themselves would be able to just, you know, get involved with, and it would kind of come into effect with their whole wallet?
Yeah, right now it's set up to be a B2C app, so business to consumer, so anyone can come and leverage and utilize it, is the plan.
Okay, I'm going to look into that as soon as this AMA finishes, because to be honest, I love the sound of it. I'm in a couple of NFT projects, and a couple of them, one of them, the owners got his Discord got hacked, and they basically took about 100 grand's worth of NFTs and crypto from the community that they're in. And if they could all have had something like EverWallet, you know, it could have potentially saved them a massive loss. And yeah, I've previously lost crypto, but like small amounts. But I mean, that was like a learning curve a long time ago for me. But yeah, nothing to the size of what the community kind of lost, and what people are losing nowadays.
Yeah, that's the greatest obstacle, or one of them, to mass adoption, is people are scared to enter a world where they're exclusively responsible for their own assets. Say what you want about centralized institutions and banks, but generally, if someone steals your credit card and you call them up and can prove it, they can bring your funds back. So in order to have mass competition with that kind of centralization, which, by the way, is only enabled by the massive amounts of billions of dollars that they already have so that they can write these things off, so it's not like they're ethical or moral in that sense. But in order to be able to compete with the things that centralized institutions can offer thanks to their massive capital advantage, we will need a security advantage, and we're proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's actually funny, Peter. I believe everyone in the crypto space, well, not everyone, the majority of the people in the crypto space, they're all happy when they get that 90% rise. But then when they get that 90% fall and they end up losing stuff, they all want their money back, like a guarantee for it.
No, there is no such guarantee. Even the finest projects have encountered rough waters at times. So nobody up here would ever give that kind of guarantee. Everyone should just continue to do their own research and align themselves with good projects that have a long-term vision, and that's the strategy. But we're still in a very early space, and there's still so much yet to be revealed. So everyone just be careful out there and adopt maximum wallet security as you go about your daily business.
Thank you guys for answering all my questions, and I'll listen on.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, my friend.
Tom.
Seaside, how's it going?
Good. I'm in a tunnel on a train in Boston, so you may lose me, right? My question is about EverOwn. Let's just say I had some real estate, a deed or something, and I want to lock it
Sorry,
up.
it's a little bit hard to hear you. You sound very faint.
Hold on.
Can you get closer to the microphone? He was asking about EverOwn and...
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm in a tunnel in Boston. So EverOwn, are you able to like take a deed, right? A real estate deed and I don't know, can you explain it to me? Because if you had something like that, it would have to go through a regulation or the municipalities, doesn't it?
It depends on the specific municipality. That's often governed by local law. So, what EverOwn can do in the next 10 to 20 years is absolutely be at the forefront of digitized asset transfers, escrow services, probate services, these kinds of things. You're absolutely right that there's going to be some law that we'll have to look at as we, pivot away from sort of providing smart contract solutions for early stage DeFi protocols. As we continue building that out, but also look into securing more mature asset classes, we'll certainly have to be looking into local law, federal law, international law to make sure that we're in compliance. These are the kinds of things we'll be able to do with a lot more heft as the seed round completes and the legal department ends up being more than just a quarter of me. There will be a lot more assets to be able to look into that because candidly, that's where there's a lot more of a total addressable market.
Right. And that's really exciting to me. I'm a court mediator, and I've seen people take quit claim deeds and really just steal houses with a quit claim deed. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
to have that security, you know what I'm talking about? To have that security and an EverOwn type NFT, it would just be absolutely phenomenal.
I haven't heard the word quit claim since the first year of law school, so vaguely what you mean. There is a lot of shadiness that can happen with real estate claims that are not fully understood by law. And so that is a very interesting use case that we will certainly look into over the years. I think real estate is one of those areas that people are saying NFTs have a lot of work to do there. Smart contracts have a lot of work to do in real estate. So I'm super excited for the time when EverRise can look at those questions and really dig into them full force. But yeah, there will be several compliance issues, and EverRise may roll those out in various localities over time to the extent it becomes a priority. So everything has to be done and it's
right.
We'll continue to look at. But it's a great idea on your part, and DM us and let us know what you're thinking, because it seems like you have some experience.
All right, I thank you, man. You guys keep up the. I mean, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. I've got someone in Discord if people want to listen up. I've got a couple of questions from the AMA channel.
Please.
Our old friend Kami-sama asks, can we disclose what type of dev EverRise has just hired? Are they working alongside Titan on Solidity, front end, etc.? Do we know? I mean,
yeah, mostly front end, but also back end as well.
Yes, a bit of a generalist then. I guess more details than we might end up giving.
Very experienced.
Yeah, totally. The other question we kind of answered, Jen, at least you did at the beginning. It's about the liquidity unlock. Dragging Sexy Back is the name of the questioner, but they are asking, I understand the view on liquidity is available and will be reverted back to the Kraken, which benefits stakers. As a community member, they ask, I am thinking we might have the option of playing a larger part. Maybe we should run a poll to see if the community would use part of that money for marketing or product development to support the team. That's a cool idea. I think, Jen, you already kind of answered it with the idea that liquidity remains fundamentally the province of people who put it in the first place.
Correct.
So that's the holders.
Yeah. And I think, that's really awesome if there are community members that would like to see that liquidity utilized elsewhere. But for us, it's just, we don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Like, ultimately, that money, that liquidity has come from you guys. Money always has to come from somewhere, and it just doesn't feel right to us to utilize it for anything else other than what it is specified for, which is ultimately liquidity. And as you guys know, our buyback mechanism is the way we're able to inject liquidity into our liquidity pools consistently over time. And again, more details on how exactly we will distribute the liquidity will be released in the coming weeks. But, cool suggestion. And I think that's something that the team members listening in will probably appreciate. But principally, it's just not how we want to deal with our liquidity pools.
Yeah, well said, Jen. To put that short and sweet, liquidity belongs to the holders, period.
And that's part of the reason, TJ. It's part of the reason, like we've opened up a seed round as well, isn't it? Let's be honest, so we can invest into the company, hire, and essentially grow our staff with financials coming into the company as opposed to from the token. And it is our vision to see all of the tokenomics being given back into liquidity. So that's how I see it going forward. And Jen and TJ, Peter, feel free to kind of nip in on that. But there's yes, nice suggestion. But yeah, there's a lot of things about liquidity that I see on Twitter and socials, and I'm just like, do people really understand what liquidity is? I'm not so sure sometimes when I read some things that, on socials, and in order for people to be able to sell at a fair price, you need to have liquidity, and it also stabilizes the coin. It gives value to the token. So,
well, let's do it. Let's do it, Jason. If you're wondering if people know, let's take 90 seconds and just talk about it. Liquidity is the available value for withdrawal. If somehow everybody on the planet decided to sell their tokens all at once, that is the total amount of value that exists for distribution. So when you look at coins with market caps of, say EverRise is $50 million or something like that, that doesn't mean there's $50 million of value in EverRise. Liquidity or market cap is simply number of tokens times the price at which it's trading. But that's what an automatic market maker is. It's a decentralized exchange which holds a certain amount of native coin paired against an asset. So the total value of native coins added together is the amount of value that exists. So that value only exists in the liquidity pool because people have put it in. And so those people are the ones who are providing the liquidity in the first place, which is why it doesn't sit well with us as a company or as a protocol to take it for any other purpose than for the continued sustenance of the holders. If and when they need to withdraw value for whatever purpose, whether it be, they're satisfied or they need to pay for something or anything else. It has not been appropriated for any other purpose other than for the person who put it in, the people who put it in.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Let's be clear. Developers and project leads that dip into liquidity and pull out liquidity are essentially destabilizing their projects. And they're also removing the ability for people to, essentially have a fair price when it comes to, if it comes to a point where people want to sell. So, big red flag for me when I see projects that are not informing their communities that the liquidity is being accessed in, for reasons to pay for dev costs and expenses for the project. I think that sort of thing needs to be transparent. I don't like it myself, but they at least need to address the community as and when they do that. I think that's just a damn right good thing to do as a decent human being. But I completely echo what Peter and Jen and TJ have said. I mean, liquidity is for the holders, is for the community, is for the project, and that's the bottom line.
And
Stone Cold says so.
One other thing that I'll add is when you're looking at liquidity pools for other projects, like not only EverRise, like I really encourage you guys to look at the native coin liquidity that they have and how much of their token they have in the liquidity pool, because liquidity pools are made up of both the token and whatever the token is like pegged against. So for Rise on BNB chain, right, our liquidity pool is comprised of Rise as well as BNB. And I think something that's pretty special about EverRise, we've always talked about how because we exist on 5 chains, it's really important in order for our back-end mechanisms to work and some of our DApps to work that we maintain balanced liquidity pools. We're not just talking about having this...
Excuse-moi, mais voilà, je suis de Rostad, donc...
Hi.
Sorry, you may be the president of France, but you are going to have to wait for other people to finish. Thank you.
Oh, he just dropped off. It's all good. But I was going to say, when we say balance, EverRise has balanced liquidity pools. We don't just talk about how, more or less across the board, our liquidity pools in terms of total value are pretty close and almost the same. But if you actually look at how much Rise we have against the native coin, it's about the same amount. So when we say balanced liquidity pools, it means that like our Rise liquidity, like Rise token liquidity and the liquidity we have for the native coins, they're the same. There might be like a couple dollars off of a difference, but it's more or less 50-50.
Well said, Jen.
Perfect. I see a couple requests. I'm going to bring up Hasco. Hi, Hasco. And goodbye, Hasco.
Wow.
Whoo! That was loud. Sorry, Jason, for your headphones there.
That was painful. Sorry for anyone listening on headphones there.
I've never hit remove speaker so quickly in my life. That was quick.
apparently, Trust Wallet have now got Polygon NFT support.
There you
go.
So
people are seeing their Polygon NFT, Rise NFTs in their Trust Wallet.
Very cool.
There we go. It's pretty cool.
I don't see any other questions on Spaces at the moment. There are no requests. Do we have anything on YouTube and or Discord or Telegram?
YouTube. There was a question over VCs. No updates, and there won't be any updates until we've finalized the seed round. I think see Jen's nodding in agreement there. I'm looking back through. There was something else. Peter, did you see anything?
Not on Discord, but looks like there's Telegram that I haven't checked yet. Let's see. Lord Ape is asking, guys, I had a question. Would the team ever consider a DAO fund, using some funds to invest and reinvest back into EverRise, buyback and burns, feeding the Kraken, and so on? Might need a little more specifics on the question to know whether the team might consider it. Whether that means and advantages, there's nothing stopping token holders from coming up with some kind of agreement to do something like that. So for there to be a DAO fund, there has to be the decentralization in the first place. So, I mean, I don't know what Suresh is thinking on this point, But that would not be probably the kind of thing that we would seek to incorporate from a position of, the centralized people that exist on this screen. But whether that's something that people autonomously might wish to discuss and pursue, I think it's an interesting idea.
It's a great answer. Yu, we have you back up, my friend. What's going on?
Hey, as far as the VCs, has the presentation demo been completed and presented to a couple of them?
The pitch has been more or less completed. We obviously have different pitches depending on what kind of VC it is. With regards to actually pitching them, yes, we have started.
Awesome. That's all I wanted to know. I know you can't give much details, but that satisfied me.
Yeah, no worries. I'm happy to give you guys that update. Unfortunately, that will probably be the last update with regards to the capital round we're raising until the round is closed. Just know that we are actively starting to pitch. So.
Thank you, Yu. Have you got any other questions? Hello? No? Okay, I did see a question on YouTube. It was regarding a fiat on-ramp. When are we likely to see a fiat on-ramp? It's been a question that, and the person that asked it said that we've dodged the question and not answered it before, but I can tell you that we've certainly answered that. I know I've answered that about half a dozen times over Telegram and Twitter Spaces.
Jason, I'll give your voice a break. We will look at a fiat on-ramp after we close our VC round. It's important to us that we make sure we have the correct legal opinions. We are engaging with some of the top tier legal firms I would say globally. Both of the firms that we've been chatting with have global recognition based off of how regulations go. Like at that point, once we have a really clear path forward where we're not worried about what the regulatory implications are, we will implement a fiat on-ramp. But at this point in time, we're just not ready for it.
Great question. Joey, I do see you have your hand up, but I also see Wasso has popped up as a speaker.
What's
Mr.
up, guys?
Wasso, how are you?
Oh, shoot.
How are we?
Hey, stranger.
Everyone doing all right?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really well. I'm doing very well. I want to comment real quick on that fiat on-ramp question because I was involved in some of those conversations with Jen. I think it was said we've avoided this a little bit. No, we haven't avoided it. It's more that a lot of these fiat on-ramps, they charge like different fees to projects. Like we've come across a fiat on-ramp that we were considering, but it's like a 5% fee to convert fiat into like Ethereum, for example. And that's not good for anybody, right? We want to make sure that the solutions that the team puts forward, are the best. So it is going to take a little bit of time to make sure that, whether it's MoonPay or, I don't know, that I can't remember off the top of my head. Simplex. Yeah, Simplex was very high. Like I that was another one that I just I didn't even think like we would consider. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to comment because we are definitely not avoiding adding a fiat on-ramp. We want to have a fiat on-ramp on our swap. And once it comes time for us to, announce a fiat on-ramp, it'll be one that has very, very good fees for the community. So
it's got to be worthwhile to use, isn't it, Wasso? At the end of the day, there's no point us just adding a fiat on-ramp that's going to penalize people for using it because the fees are more than what they would, have going through a centralized exchange, for example. So,
exactly, and like to share like a one more layer of detail is that. Like Jen's putting together like a data room. So basically all of our statistics, like, number of transactions, daily, weekly, monthly, volume of transactions, daily, weekly, monthly, when we're negotiating with these fiat on-ramps, having that type of data will bring, better, like lower fees, ultimately better for the community. So it's all going to come together in time. I just, I heard the word avoid and I really wanted to say something.
I'm glad you came up.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Thanks, Was. We're gonna throw to Joey. Hey, Joey.
Hey, good afternoon, depending where you're at. Yeah, what evaluation did you guys give yourselves or are you expecting? And then what metrics are you basing that on? The one I'm more interested in is length of time.
So we aren't actually publicly assigning ourselves a valuation. For us and just talking to our advisors, that makes no sense. It's up to the markets, aka the VCs in this case, to assign our evaluation. But what I can tell you is we have clearly demonstrated a market product fit, and that's shown by the number of projects that have onboarded onto our ecosystem. We are currently working with 38 different project teams. Many of them have onboarded onto at least one or two DApps, so our total adoption and users has increased. And we also have a pretty clear path to profitability. And so with those two factors in mind, we're leaving it up to the VCs to take a look at our financial models, our projections, looking through our data room and doing their own due diligence to assign whatever evaluation that is.
Okay, how about the projections? Can those be made public?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, not to be so short about it, but it's like really, unless you're an accredited investor that is interested in investing into our equity round, we're choosing not to make those details public.
Jen, I actually have a question for you. Once the round is closed, are we going to make public the total amount raised and at what value?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like all that information will become public once the round is closed. But, as and Wasa, because you've handled some of these calls with me, like they're pretty confidential calls. NDAs are involved. I rather not publicize anything about our round that we, quite frankly, don't need to until it's closed.
Makes complete sense to me.
And of course, the full list of investors within the round will also be made public, correct?
Yes, you guys will, once the round is closed, you will see the full investor list. I think the only details that may not be made public is how much each VC invested. But you'll see how much capital we raised, at what evaluation, and who was involved in the round once the round is closed.
Perfect. Yeah, that's typically like standard. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
You happy with that answer, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But will we be able to, when you do release the numbers that it was based on, will you be able to separate from token revenue and DApp revenue?
Well, the company is like kind of completely separate from the token, right? And once we complete our round, we won't be taking any revenue in from the token. So it's more going to be based off of any company revenue rather than anything having to do with token revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joey.
Brought up. I think that's actually very, very quickly. That's actually a really good point that Jen's just brought up there. That just in case people aren't aware, that once we've completed this so hopefully successful seed round, we're looking to not take any revenue from the token as a company. That the whole of the tokenomics will feed back into the token, into the ecosystem. That for me gets me excited and puts a big smile on my face. And I just want to make sure everyone knows that is the goal, and that's what we're looking for. So,
and what Jason is referring to is the project sustainability tax of 2%.
Yeah. So all 6%, potentially all 6%, going straight into the reserve liquidity.
Bravo, how are you? Bravo W Crypto. We only have 10 more minutes, so I'm going to give you another 5 seconds, my friend. All right, Joey, I see your hand is up again.
Yeah, sorry, I have questions for days, as usual. But no, like, can you guys at least claim the Kraken withholdings as liquidity for the evaluation? I think you guys, it might benefit you if that could be seen as your liquidity.
They'll
Um,
again, like the VCs have access to all of that through our data room, and as they conduct due diligence, like, you know, they see what our TVL is on DeFi Llama. We provide breakdowns of like how we got to that TVL, and so it's a case by case basis. It's up to them.
All right, because like I don't know I haven't read the fine print, but I know like Coinbase, they have like if they are up against bankruptcy, they can use basically your holdings as an unlicensed creditor. It's really weird, but it's in the terms and conditions. So I think that'd be interesting insurance.
well, as Jen mentioned, they'll have access to the information, and we're not coming out with numbers about valuation. So whether a particular institution or individual finds it relevant is essentially up to them. And then they come up with numbers which Jen and the team will be comparing against each other to find the best fit. In terms of whether the Kraken relates personally, from Peter himself thinks that that's not a relevant metric for EverRise Inc. because that is value that belongs to holders of the token, which we're drawing a very clear distinction between token holders and INC dot, right? So VC, and I'm not an accredited investor, but I don't know if that would matter to me. But that information will be available to everybody, and whether they choose to pay attention to it is an idiosyncratic decision.
Yeah, I could definitely comment on this too. Like, some of the investors are looking at the Kraken as like a TVL, like Jen said, like those tokens, right, within the Kraken, while in the Kraken, they can't be sold. So some of them are viewing that like that. Others are viewing it as like just liquidity, because eventually it will come into, the LP on the DEXs. So yeah, everyone's going to interpret it a little bit different. And that kind of goes into what Jen said earlier with, each of the investment firms are, doing their due diligence, and they're, part of the process is they come up with their own valuation. So, for me, whether it's interpreted as liquidity or whether it's interpreted as TVL, it's still, a huge benefit to the project. And we'll see over the coming weeks how things shake out.
And it's not like you're seeking a controlling interest in it, so you'll have your say in protecting investors, token investors.
Absolutely.
Well said. Yu, I see you have your hand up again.
Yep, you guys are gonna get tired of me before long.
Never.
What's up, Yu?
One more question then towards the end of this. Whenever parties, we're coming up on a year. It's been a great, successful year against all types of opposition. People were just only in meetings and not all the education that's happened this year. We're gonna have a party.
I heard most of that. I think it ended with "we're going to have a party," and I absolutely agree.
As well.
Yeah.
I think you may be driving at the moment.
I can repeat that. I can repeat that. I said, so, over this last year, we're running up over a year, and we've made it through a lot of opposition and education and people being aware of all the risks that are in this space and educating them into making better decisions. We've overcome a lot. So when's the Ever Party?
When's the Ever Party? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Our 1 year anniversary is coming up. Who's to say we're not going to have a good time that week? I don't know. I like that though. Ever Party week. Who knows? And we're always up to something, Yu.
Yeah, exactly. And, we always want a bigger presence at certainly some of the flagship conferences across the country. I think we were at Bitcoin Miami, and there's Consensus coming up and some others. So, keep your eyes open on conferences if people ever want to come hang out and chill. That's always on the table for us.
Absolutely. There was a couple of questions on YouTube as well. I just want to kind of read out. There's a good question here from Pancakes. What conditions are the team looking for in order to re-enable the native bridge to be turned back on? Can any of you guys speak to that?
I think market stability. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen and Peter, but for the market to really stabilize, obviously we're on 5 chains, and it's very important to us that none of them go completely out of sync. That's a reason why we closed the Phantom bridge when Phantom took a dive. It's to protect the investors. So when the market stabilizes a little bit, liquidity pools are balanced, I think that's when we can look to opening back up.
Yeah, as I suspected the answer to be. Thank you for the answer there. I'm just reading back through some of the questions. Some of them are repeats from what's been said in Discord. Any other hands raised, DJ?
We have one hand up. Nope, it just fell off. There are no other hands raised at the moment. We are approaching the top of the hour. So
Do you want me to do the...
Yes. Okay. You know what? Since we do have 4 minutes to kill, let's
Okay.
give everyone time to load YouTube. If you have been in our community spaces or been watching EverRise on Twitter for the last little bit, the trend of watermelon and mustard has become pretty popular in the EverRise community. I don't know how it blew up to the point that it's at, but here we are. So Jason has a plate of watermelon and I believe some mustard as well. And
I do, and this is like this ended the stream with a bit of entertainment because I must admit the thought of this is disgusting.
Yeah.
I just want to completely be honest with you now. So I've got some French's mustard, some watermelon chunks, and how much?
I haven't tried it, and it's just watching you try it is giving me anxiety.
You have to go into it with an open mind, Jason. It's very important to do that, and just really pay attention to your palate and how the two, different flavors are complementing one another.
How much do I need to put on?
A healthy amount, definitely a healthy amount, not a dot.
Foul.
Oh God!
And if you could please show to the camera, because I'm 99% certain that this is going to get clipped by at least one community member and shared. There we go. You know what I might do, Jason?
Shall I go full screen?
Yeah, you know what? You can go full screen for this. I might stick another piece on top of that, kind of make it like a sandwich.
Another piece on top.
You know what? Nah.
Oh my God! Right.
I'm stressed out.
It's just offensive. Watermelon is perfectly good.
No,
Thank you, Peter.
Look at him.
It's not as bad as I thought it'd be, actually.
Is it delicious?
Endorsement of anything. It's still shit. Sorry, guys.
I wouldn't say that it's something that I would go out of my way to do, but it's odd. It's odd because but this isn't like this mustard's sweet, right? So yeah, I'll try another one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Of course, you're gonna try another one.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose to do this. I wouldn't go out of my way to do this unless
He says that now, and he's gonna eat the whole plate with mustard on it.
100%.
Yeah, it's not something which yeah, it's edible. It's edible.
It's edible. Well, we don't have a glowing endorsement from Jason, but that's okay.
TJ, do you actually now you seek this out? You pick up some watermelon and you're like, oh, I got to get the mustard now.
No, that's never how it was. I discussed a strange food that I ate, and then it just snowballed into something that everyone was trying. And the reason I brought it up is because I tried it, and I was caught by surprise. I was completely taken aback by the fact that it just did not taste awful.
It doesn't taste awful, but it doesn't taste as good as watermelon.
You might have surprisers who disagree with you, but
that's fine. You should try some of my English s'mores.
And if you can remind everyone what your English s'mores are for those who were not here that day.
A digestive biscuit. Oh, sorry, hang on. So it's a marshmallow. So a big giant marshmallow with a tea light. You can melt it over the tea light and then stick it on a digestive biscuit and sandwich it. That's how I do it. There you go.
Jason, what is a digestive biscuit?
It's a round biscuit that's
does it have like probiotics in it? Is that why it's called a digestive biscuit?
No, it's not good for you. Actually, it was a chocolate chip digestive biscuit. It's just a I don't know, I think it's made of wheat. I don't know, digestive.
Not a s'more. While you look that up, we have the man, the legend, Hakuna up here. Hey, Hakuna.
I am laughing hysterically because Jason just did the perfect why face. After he closed his eyes and looked at the camera, I could just hear him like, what am I doing and how did my life get me to this point?
This is the pinnacle of me and EverRise, just being on camera trying watermelon mustard.
What I wanted to point out was TJ was explaining how we got to this point, and what I wanted to remind everyone is this is how we coped with getting through the market bleed when Luna collapsed and everything was dark and gloomy. It was watermelon and mustard that saved the day.
Yeah, not watermelon sugar. Not watermelon sugar. It's watermelon mustard. A digestive biscuit, sometimes described as a sweet meal biscuit, is a semi-sweet biscuit that originated in Scotland. The digestives were first developed in 1939. The term digestive is derived from the belief that they had antacid properties due to their use of sodium bicarbonate when they were first developed. There you go. And they're just made of flour and I guess wheat flour, sugar, and malt extract. There you go. I had a chop, and we're talking about food, guys. This is it. This is the end of the AMA.
Think of an Amaro or a Fernet, just a nice little thimble full of liquor that they used to use to literally brush their own teeth. Some liquor is so foul that people thought it would, by force, clean out your inside. So if you don't like watermelon or mustard with digestive cookies, consider an Amaro.
Thank you so much.
This took a dive.
This is so great. TJ, I have another space I'm supposed to be on at 3, and I can't leave because this is so amazing. Normally I hang out on YouTube, and I just enjoy watching and sitting back and seeing the dialogue, and it's always fun from the outside. But when Jason pulled up that plate, I was smiling ear to ear like, there's no way this is happening live right now. This is amazing.
I knew you would be. I knew it.
EverRise Eats actually comes up. If you've tried a cheesecake with the base of a cheesecake is basically ground up digestive biscuits. So there you go.
You learn something new every day.
You do indeed. Thank
Jason,
you, EverRise Eats.
I just sent in staff chat what the kind of biscuit that I was picturing you were making s'mores with, and this is why I was so confused.
I do have to run, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow at 2.
Yes, sir.
Bye,
You have a good one, my man. Thank you for popping up.
Oh, no. That's like a puff pastry, right?
No, we refer to these as biscuits.
What?
In the United States.
No,
yes.
No.
I heard the anger in Jason's voice there. What?
Why is the UK and the States got so many different meanings for different words? Like, oh God. It's like,
yeah, look at this Google search. Every word in here, and you'll see biscuit.
It's like
English
jelly.
is a tough language.
That's what they say, that the USA and England or the UK are 2 countries separated by a common language. The cultures are vastly different, and I don't understand you at all, Jason.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take up American.
On that note, guys, that was a fun end to the AMA. I'm glad we did that. Jason, thank you for eating watermelon and mustard to put a smile on faces. Appreciate that.
Happy to sacrifice my taste buds for rice.
I love it. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much to everyone who popped up with a question or who had questions on YouTube, Discord, Telegram, everyone who came to listen. We appreciate it. We will be back here 2 o'clock tomorrow for the community spaces.
And TJ, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to remind people, I actually think the tweet is going out about this here in like the next hour, but today we did onboard a new project onto EverSwap, DFSM, and we will be doing our ecosystem spaces with them tomorrow. So be sure to tune in for that as well.
And the live stream. And the
live stream. You guys got EverRise events for days.
Yeah. So, and I might just show a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the NFTs and how they were put together. There you go.
Yeah.
You can't miss it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. Keep up the social media tweets, retweets, likes. It really helps. I keep seeing us on the lists of all of the top sentiment charts and everything. So it really does work.
Absolutely. Thank you again, everyone, for popping in, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.